Welcome to today's interview. I'm here with seven-figure brand D2C owner James. We're here in China and we're going to get to know him a little bit more, see what business is running, and get a little bit of, a behind the scenes of James. So first of all, thank you for coming, James.
Hey, Mark. Thank you so much for inviting me to your office in China. This is my first time in 20 years. So, it's a pleasure to be here and I love meeting your teams and everyone. Appreciate it.
Welcome back. 20 years later. So, we'll get into it. First of all, tell me a little bit about James. Where did you grow up? And, what experiences have you gone so far? Just, tell us a little bit more about that.
All right. So, I'm Korean. Mm-hmm. So I was born in South Korea. And then when I was about 13 years old, I moved to United States as an international student. And that's where I spent about 10 years in my life. And then I didn't complete my degree in university. I dropped out. So I don't have a degree. And then so I decided to go back to Korea. And I had an opportunity to join a startup company in Malaysia. So I moved to Malaysia in around 2018, right before COVID.
Okay.
And then it was a small team. It was a food business, F&B. We had restaurants and cafes, and we were also very heavily involved in e-commerce as well. But e-commerce is not that kind of e-commerce that we know of in this part of the world. And so I had a little bit of experience growing a team, seeing how our CEO grew the business from small team to large scales and getting investors in, becoming a proper startup company. And after 4 years, that was actually my degree, right?
Okay,
that was my degree. That's the real degree. And then me and my girlfriend, who we used to work together in the company. I actually interviewed her.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we got to know each other. Yeah. And then we decided to, we wanted to start something of our own because we thought it was like the perfect timing, right? We have a little bit of experience, and then we don't have any risk in terms of if we fail, no one is not going to hurt anyone. We don't have kids. So we were like, we are probably in our prime kind of age, you can say, I'm not age, but
it is prime. It is prime, man. Yeah.
So we was like, you know what? We are not going to risk anything. So let's just give it a try.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was 2 years from now on. So it's been about 2 years since I started my brand.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked out.
You took the shot.
Yeah, I took the shot. Yeah, it did. I'm glad it paid off.
Yeah. Perfect. That's good. So tell me a little bit about, moving to the States very young. You mentioned 13 years old.
Yeah.
How was that?
So I moved to United States without my parents. So I was an international student there.
Yeah.
So, initially my parents, hey, James, do you want to go visit your cousins in the United States? And I was like, sure. It was for the couple of months. And then they never got me a return ticket back. But I kind of fell in love with my experience there. Education system was very different from Korea. And I think I adapted really fast, and I think that's my personality. So I didn't have any issue. I got blended in really well, really fast. Yeah.
I see. Do you think the reason you're successful also with your D2C brand is because you have a very multicultural background? When I say you're in the States, Korean based, living in Malaysia, you have a little, you understand different cultures. Does that help you with your brand?
I didn't complete my degree, as I said. I dropped out after 1.5 years.
You completed the other one though.
Yeah. And the biggest, I think, the asset, my parents provided to me was the ability to speak English.
Okay.
Right? Because it's not my first language, right? If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. So that was, of course, a very expensive kind of gift from my parents. They took a lot of debts to be able to provide education for me. It was a huge bummer when I told them that I wasn't going to continue my degree. It was, they were very scared, but it just wasn't for me. I never did well in school, in the school setting. So they knew that. They respected that, but I told them that I will make it up somehow.
Amazing. That is a great story. I guess, that's also the origins as well of, you going really hard in deep sea and, making that commitment, and thank you for sharing, about, who is James, and getting that little background of, where you're coming from, and obviously how you created, the D2C brand, which we'll go into later. So next is, you're in China.
Yeah.
We're in China. So tell me about the Renaissance, the second time, right? So that was the first time, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And you have the second time.
Yeah.
So what differences do you see, especially with different cultures? What do you see about Chinese culture in general?
Okay. I mean, when I first arrived in China, I was not expecting what I saw. Right. In terms of a technology advancement, it's pretty insane how far China is compared to the rest of the world. Because I grew up in the United States, I've been to Chicago, I've been to Manhattan, I've been to San Francisco. I feel like nothing quiet is like China at the moment. But probably because China is very recently developed compared to the rest of the world, and they're very fast. But majority of the cars are electronic or hybrid. Which is not the case for the rest of the world. It's probably half of the cars that I see is electronic. Even though public transportations, buses are fully run electric car. Even the scooters, motorcycles are. So that's pretty amazing. And then how I don't need cash. They don't accept cash at all. Wherever you go,
people look at you very different. Like, is this something like, what's going on? Like, is this the 19th century or something? It's really that bad.
Yeah, and then it's super safe, I feel like. And the people are super nice. The only catch is that there is a language barrier.
Exactly.
I feel like I had a very difficult time communicating with a lot of when I arrived at the hotel, or when I'm trying to order foods. But the hospitality is amazing.
It's amazing,
Yeah, they are welcoming you. They try their best to help you out. Even when I visited my supplier before I came to meet you, he planned out the whole entire trip. When I landed in the airport, there was he sent someone to pick me up with the pamphlet, hey, James Lee, So that was really welcoming, and how he planned out the entire trip. I wasn't expecting him to do that, right? For the 4 days, he brought, he wanted me to visit here, and then he book all the hotels, book all the transportation, pay for all the foods. It was like he wanted me to let me know that, dude, this is your home.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is my place, your place.
Yeah.
You're always welcome.
And build on that relationship as well.
Yeah. That was really heartwarming. Yeah,
because it's interesting when you're coming and you don't. Like you said, it exceeded your expectations.
Yeah,
you're like. I'm sure you came in because we had a conversation before you came over to China. And you're like, dude, let me see what's going on. Like, I'm very curious. And it's interesting, the feedback that you have. And of course, tell me about the food. So just some context. Chengdu is the spiciest city in China. That's what it's called, right? Yeah. So tell me about how spicy or what level of spice did you experience over there?
I am not really good with spicy food. I think a lot of Koreans will be like, are you like a legit? But I am not really good with spice. So when I arrived in China, as soon as I landed in the city, the only thing that I could smell was mala.
Right. So for context, mala is
the spicy, numbing spicy kind of hot pot.
Exactly.
So, however, at my first night, my supplier said, "Hey, you have to try." I was like, "You sure?"
Is it safe?
Yeah, it's safe. It was extremely spicy, but it's not that kind of spicy though. It's numbing spicy.
It's numbing,
Your tongue gets numbed. And then in Chengdu, Chongqing, it is. They eat for breakfast, they eat for lunch, they eat for dinner. And my supplier told me that he eats it every single day. And then they believe that it actually helps them to go through the summer better. You kind of sweat out.
Hey, sweat it out,
and you feel cooler and stuff like that. I didn't really feel that, to be honest. I felt more hot.
You told me about that.
Yeah, but the food was extremely hot. But however, it's addicting.
Okay.
I think my last day, I was like, "Hey, can we have my last mala before I go?" It's like you kind of crave for it. It's addicting, and then it's not like a stupid spicy. It's delicious. Spicy.
Okay. So now you're like you're in a dilemma, right? Like it's numbing, but it's tasty.
Yeah.
So next, James, you're a successful D2C brand owner. I'm saying successful, man. you will share your journey. And congratulations. for, what you've done and what you've achieved. And looking forward, I think before we move with your D2C brand and you explain to viewers, for example, why you're in China, how did you start, your brand? Because I know a lot of people go straight into drop shipping and go through the journey, but you have a very special story. How did you go directly into creating a brand? What ideas came from that?
Okay. I'm not that successful. There are a lot more successful, business owners out there. I am just getting started. I started my brand 2 years ago. We are, of course, we hit our first 7-figure in my first ever business I've done, which is, I think, a good story. However, I'm very long way to go. My goal, what I'm trying to achieve is so far ahead. I often feel like I'm nowhere near, but thank you so much for your kind words. But how did I get started? First of all, I didn't know the world of dropshipping. If I knew, I probably might have started with that. But the thing is, I wasn't familiar. I wasn't in the realm. I've never heard about dropshipping, right? So the only thing that I knew was, hey, you got to create something that people love and you got to put it out there. And then I didn't even know Amazon FBA or dropshipping. Only thing that I knew was that I gotta make something and I gotta put it out to the world. I previously mentioned that I was working for a startup company in Malaysia. We were sourcing a lot of packaging materials from China, right? So that process, hey, there's a design team. They have to do a little bit of nice design and then they put it in a file format and they source a packaging manufacturer suppliers in China. They send them the file and then you receive you negotiate, you get the best price and then you get shipped to Malaysia. So I knew that, right? And then we done a lot of that. We were sourcing a lot of our not just packaging materials, but even some ingredients. We were sourcing a lot of kitchen equipment from China. And then my girlfriend was in charge of procurement and sourcing. So we knew how to find suppliers from the get-go. Yeah, but the problem was we are not designers. Right?
Exactly.
We don't know how to design. We don't know anything about the design, but we had an idea what we wanted to create. So we went to 168A, and then my girlfriend got in touch with probably more than 100 suppliers in our category.
In the niche.
In the niche, right? And then we didn't even we had a drawing that we doodled. That was all we had.
How's the drawing? Be honest. How was the drawing?
Really bad. It was really bad.
Really?
Yeah, it was just an idea.
Okay.
Right? It was just sketch. And then all of the suppliers is we cannot help you. Right? Well, what do you want me to do, right? Now that I look back, of course, right?
Yeah.
But there was one supplier that we was hey, let me give it a try.
Is that the current supplier?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Okay. yeah. But she's let me give it a try. And then the sampling process took about 4 or 5 months because it wasn't good. The first try, it wasn't nothing that I was thinking. It was in my head. I wasn't able to draw it out either. But she made the first sample. It's hey. Something's there.
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there. So we gotta tweak here. And then that took about probably 6 or 7 sample process. And then we finally had a product that I was satisfied with. Then we were ready to go.
A lot of people wouldn't wait that long, to be honest. And that's where, patience is a virtue at the end of the day. So, that result, because, I'm looking at, no pun intended to the dropshippers, but, a lot of dropshippers wouldn't wait that long.
Yeah.
So it's a different, way of thinking, I guess, to wait 4 months for the product to be finished and have that confidence in that product.
I think I needed that time because, on the product side, it was on my girlfriend, right? So for me, it was I got to figure out marketing. But the thing is, I'm not a marketer. I don't have any experience of running ads, of creating content, So that was my time that I needed the time that I took to learn about what is D2C, what is Shopify, what is Meta. So because none of these were I didn't have any information, prior information. Yeah. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I watched a lot of podcasts.
YouTube University.
What?
YouTube University?
No, I think that one of the first people that I followed was Dave from the founder of Udi.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I watched a lot of his contents, and then Nick Sharma. So I spent literally about 4 months like trying to understand how it works, and then how to set up Klaviyo, email marketing, what is PostScript, SMS. And then we started like, even with the samples we're receiving, we were already making content with them. Yeah, so it's like I was the founders at, hey, this is the first sample we created, and this is why we started. This is how we're going to launch it, and then we were generating hypes around it. So I took the time to reach out to a lot of influencers that, hey, this is the first sample we have, but it's going to turn something into good, right? When the samples are available, would you like to receive it? So that I started that process while we are perfecting our samples.
Yeah, that must have been hard, man. Especially in the beginning, you must have sent out, a lot of, outreach emails.
Yeah.
How did you go through that? How was that experience? Because I know that must have been a difficult period.
No, I mean, I didn't think it was difficult, but wasn't sure if it was going to work, right? Because it was just an Asian guy, sending an email or DM, with not even like finalized product, trying to sell my dream, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was received really well.
Okay.
They gave me a support. The reason why we were able to start our business with $8,000 in our bank account, and that was the only money that we had. I didn't want to run ads because I didn't want to lose it all.
Yeah.
There was no product market fit, right? So these creators that we work with for this launch, it meant a lot, and they trusted us. They liked the product. They were willing to wait. They were willing to receive the product. They were willing to promote it for free. And then that was how we launched it without running any ads. And we sold out on our first 72 hours. And then we generated $32,000.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was the time that needed to build out the funnels, to build a brand, to create organic content. So yeah, that's how I spent my 4 months while waiting for samples.
Wow. Okay, so it was time well spent.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's good. I mean, thank you for sharing that. In terms of as a D2C brand, obviously because now it makes sense. Unlike the majority of the population, of course, you didn't have experience with ads, but you had experience with sourcing.
Yeah.
So now this explains why that transition to D2C fulfillment, I would say, was easier to, from using you guys' experience to be actually able to source from China, because you've done it before. You and your girlfriend had done it before. We had an interesting conversation, and you call your supplier uncle.
Yeah. When I first, I thought all the suppliers are much older. That was my presumption, right? But I recently found out he's only 42 years old.
Okay.
But we already started calling him uncle, and he knows about it. But I think that kind of signifies like how much trust that we have for each other, right? He cares a lot about our brand, and then when he makes mistakes, he owns up to it. When we make mistakes, he's very understandable. So yeah, until nowadays, even in person, I call him uncle.
Nice. Do you feel that, of course, it's a business relationship, but do you feel that uncle nephew kind of relationship in a business context?
I think we do, for sure. When we first met, when we were having dinner, he told us that when we first started working together, he thought we were just like young kids trying to make money online, right? Like wasn't really taking us seriously. But he told me that he saw how much we cared about the product. Like we were like being an ass about like, hey, this is not perfect. The QC this, this is not. We need to get better. We need better products. We need to launch more products. He saw how much we cared about the product, and he knew that they are not just here for the quick money, right? You really want to build something, right? And then he started seeing us differently from that point. And then he was more on board with us, like, you know what? Let me go try to find a better quality materials. Let me do this for you guys. I know you got when the tariff hit, right? Yeah. Don't worry about it. Like if you don't have if you need your money to like do something else, let me know. He was very proactive about it. He really saw it as not just as like someone who pays him the money. So they care, and I want to be able to support him.
See, that's interesting. It's a real partnership, and like you mentioned, he supported you during the tariffs and those difficult times. And now your relationship is, obviously you have big plans for the future. And it's interesting just to see, how a relationship can actually create a great business. So next, I wanted to talk more about the fulfillment side of things. So you have Uncle, and your D2C brand is currently fulfilling through Speed Fulfill. But before that, of course, you had challenges with fulfillment, and I would want to know. So the next question is, I think you have your sourcing on lock, more into fulfillment. We're going to talk about fulfillment for D2C brands, how you're doing it, and also a big D2C brand fulfilling from China.
Yeah.
What gave you confidence? I mean, there's a lot of stereotypes, of course, about fulfillment from China. Why did you decide to fulfill from China?
I mean, it had a lot to do with the timeline, right? Because as soon as we decided to fulfill from United States, the lead time is much longer, right? We have to wait additional couple of weeks, and then we can only fulfill from United States. But we wanted to be able to fulfill from China to worldwide,
global,
and then we did a lot of price comparison, right? I spoke to a lot of 3PLs in China. I spoke to a lot of 3PLs in the United States. There was a clear advantage, especially, I started my brand with $8,000. Majority of the money went to buying inventory, when we didn't even have sales, right?
Wow.
So I didn't want to put in more risk to pay for the shipments, right, to go to United States.
Yes, exactly.
So it was a quite obvious option available. We did have a lot of concerns, the shipping delays, shipping from China to United States does take slightly longer, but we were able to overcome that by communicating with customers clearly, setting expectations. Even we don't try to lie about it. We state very clearly how long it takes to ship. And then once you place an order from us, through our post-purchase email, we let them know, hey, your order is going to take from maybe 7 to 8, 9 days, right? And if there's any delay, we alert them automatically. So we have never really received much complaints about shipment delays. I think setting up the expectation was the key point. And then from the cash flow standpoint, it made a lot of sense to be able to fulfill from China, and then being able to fulfill not only United States, but being able to become a global brand.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Being a global brand, was able to unlock right away because of a fulfillment in China. And I think it's one of the smartest, most efficient way to unlock more revenue. I heard a quote from another this guy from Twitter. He said the fastest way to expand your TAM is going global, shipping to worldwide. And then that's my belief as well. Of course, in the future, we are considering US fulfillment as we grow to provide even better experience for our customers.
Exactly.
However, especially when you're first starting out, being able to reach customers worldwide meant a lot.
There's so much value you mentioned in the conversation just now. One of them, of course, is a centralized inventory. China provides that for global expansion. You also spoke about cash flow and how that helps. And also, we did speak in the past, it allows you to be flexible in case something happens, such as the tariffs. What happens?
I mean, cash flow, because let me give you an example. We are launching new collection, new product very frequently, right? We're not a supplement brand. We don't have a big LTV. So one of the best way for us to expand is launching a lot of new products. So from idea to sample, and then to go into the market, launching it. Having a Chinese facility, it just shortens the time frame. We are able to go from idea to launching it very fast without having to go to the USA, creating that 6 weeks. You already pay for the inventory as well, right? So the cash flow is much better in terms of that. And then we're expanding really fast. And then we are taking a lot of risk, buying a lot of inventory. We are putting every dollars into buying new inventory every single month. And then if we had to pay for a large amount of tariff during that time, I feel like we would be in a bad position, So fulfilling from China did help to mitigate that risk to a certain degree. So
I also thought about let's go to the next one. Now let's go to Speed Fulfill. Yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah, I think it was just you spoke about that.
You can talk about now. You've been working with us for 6 months.
Yeah. Right? So you've been working with us for 6 months plus right now. Why did you switch over?
It has nothing to do with our previous supplier, 3PL. They were great. They did everything for us in the beginning. They helped us to be where we are today. But they didn't like to work during Chinese New Year, right? They were taking 2 weeks off, and then they were taking a lot of major Chinese holidays off. They were taking like Sundays off, stuff like that. I mean, Sundays are okay, but when it comes to Chinese New Year time, that's our peak Valentine's campaign moment. That's one of our strongest, best performing period for our brand.
Okay.
Because we're in a very gifting niche. So we wanted to expand our time period where we can scale. But our previous 3PL was closing down much sooner. So I started reaching out to the people in D2C. So I reached out to Jacob. He's like, hey, I work with Speed Fulfill. You should talk to them. And then I got on a call with you, and then I was not expecting to see you, right? Speaking Chinese somewhere, but that felt good. Because a lot of the times the communication between me and our 3PL supplier was through my girlfriend, right? So that was, but I wanted to be able to solve the problem. I wanted to be able to communicate directly to the team, the 3PL,
exactly.
So then after speaking to you guys, I thought, hey, we worked throughout the whole Chinese New Year, right? And then I requested for the quotation, and that's what got me excited too. Because I thought we were getting a decent price from my previous 3PL. And then when I got the quotation from you guys, it's like, dude, we are almost saving $1 per order.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's say we're having a 6,000 order volume or 10,000 order volume.
Exactly.
That's enough for me to hire one full-time, person to join our team. So it makes sense, but it was very risky as well, right? Because it was during
peak season.
During peak season,
how do you switch? And at that time we just we had a few conversations, and we were I'm sure there were a lot of decisions going through your head, and how you made the switch. Of course, price was an issue, and that's something that we could figure out. The communication also is something that we also got to figure out. And then was there anything in particular? Was there a particular day that you're like, you know what? I can take this risk on? Because I do recall your switchover was during Chinese New Year, and it was a very risky time. So was there a particular thing that made you switch?
I mean, I didn't want to lose revenue, right? During our peak time. It's either we lose the revenue or take the risk, one or the other.
Yes.
Right. And then, but the thing is, I wouldn't have taken the risk if I didn't feel good about it, right? So as soon as we hopped on the group chat, it was you, it was Angela, it was Olivia, Sarah. There were like 3 other people that was trying to make this work. It wasn't just like you and then talking to me. Everyone was like, hey, I can help to arrange this. I can help you get faster to do this. And then you guys helped to arrange the logistic, company to pick up all of our inventory from our previous supplier to your supplier within a very short period of time, and the price was really decent as well. And it's like, hey, they are willing to do a lot of things for us to make this work. The price is good, the communication is good. You guys are gonna take care of it. You guys are working through Chinese New Year, so let's give it a try.
Ticks all the boxes at that point.
Yeah.
When we switched and when you explained the project, immediately I knew that, this is just not, I knew it wasn't a short-term thing.
Yeah.
I knew like the way you actually spoke about the product itself, and like, this guy is in for the long term. And of course, with working with D2C brands for fulfillment, you want that stability. And I was like, I think we can work long-term with James. And I'm happy we're still here today.
Yeah.
And you answered that question.
Yeah.
So you came all the way from Malaysia to come, visit China and visit us. We're very grateful, by the way. Tell us a little bit more about your impressions of Speed Fulfill.
Yeah.
The team in general, your experience, and what you saw.
Yeah. So in our group chat, we have quite a lot of people. Mark, and then the Jutes, we have Olivia, we have account manager, we have a operation manager, after sales manager, and there are a lot of people that we are in communication on a daily basis, right?
Which is key.
It's not just, before that, it was just one person taking care of everything, you know? And then I couldn't even communicate while they were using AI to translate. A lot of things are making sense.
Yeah.
But when I started working with you guys, it's like, I can ease my mind. You know, there's a department will take care of, order processing. There's a department that takes care of after sales. If anything goes wrong with an order, if there's an issue, you have a dedicated team to be able to communicate with our team, right? And then of course these account manager and after sales managers, they don't speak English as well. You know, they're using AI translations to communicate with us, but you're in the group chat, right?
Exactly.
You're always monitoring. It's like, hey guys, and then anytime I can give you a call.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that helps to like fasten. If there's anything wrong, if there's something that we need urgently from you, it's like expedite. Right?
Exactly.
Like, give a call on Mark. It's like, hey, dude, there's something happening. Can you help to look into it? So that as a operation, partner, having that kind of level of a, team, it makes you feel like you can kind of relax.
Yeah.
I can focus on what really matters, which is the marketing and generating revenues for our brand.
Amazing. I mean, it's interesting, as you mentioned, like we have been expanding as People Fuel. We had to use different departments and have different responsibilities. And this allows you to have these dynamics where you can speak to the after sales about after sales issues. You can speak to the account manager about communication issues, order management team about order management issues. Yeah. And this kind of allows our team to have this sort of responsibility. And, one of the challenges, of course, is putting that responsibility on them and for them to, for us as well, to do what we're supposed to do. Yeah. And during your time at Speak to Fuel, I mean, we went over to the warehouse. We've been around the offices. What do you see? What do you like? Especially that you could now actually see your product. We actually saw your product in real life and how it was actually packaged. What did you like about it?
I like the fact that there are 70 people in the office, in the warehouse. There's a lot of people, and then just making sure that your order is being processed, and then not even just being processed, but even after it's shipped out. If we have any issues, there's a dedicated team to handle that responsibility, right? But being able to go to the warehouse and then seeing like how our product is stored, because a lot of time, like a lot of people told me that the warehouses are really dirty and you get dusty and stuff like that. When I went to see the warehouse myself, I was like, dude, it's really clean. And then everything is covered, it's making sure. And then you guys have a like very step-by-step processes to make sure that our product is being shipped correctly. Right. Exactly. I think that's why one of the reasons I like working with you guys is because we don't get complaints about shipping items, shipping the correct items all the time. That's something that I never had to worry about it. So I think I was able to see, this is why you guys have a lot of like tools and you guys have a lot of technologies installed in that process. And then, you guys showed me, hey, this is what happens when your order is being played, comes to us. This is how we pack our product. This is our process. And then this people do this, this people do this. And being able to see that kind of gave me even more confidence that, hey, we have to scale even higher than where we are. I consider ourselves as a very small brand still. And we have to at least 10x, 20x, 50x. And then it's like, this partner has the capacity to handle this. So that gave me an assurance that, hey, maybe I don't need to look for another partner for anything.
That gives us confidence as well when you say that,
Yeah.
And, one thing that's underrated is the customer experience. I love how you always pin that down. The customer experience when somebody opens that package, how big is that for you? I think that is underrated, and it's good for you to be able to see how it's packaged. So when the customer opens their gift, since you're in that niche, that's something big, right? So tell me more about what is your thought process about, when the customer opens this, and what does this kind of ripple effect onto your business? What is that? I
mean, if I sell a product and the customer is not satisfied with the product quality, what am I doing? Why am I doing this in the first place? Like, there's no reason for me to continue. I would rather just make money somewhere else. And that matters a lot to me. the reason why I do this is because to make people happy, to make a product that people enjoy, and that if it doesn't make that purpose, if it doesn't hit that goal, I feel like I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. So that I know you know how thoroughly we do QC,
yeah.
and then how we want to be packaged in certain ways, and then but you guys never complain, and that's what I appreciate.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it really matters a lot because I think my standard is pretty high, and then especially my girlfriend, you know, and then you guys were able to package according to our needs, and also that what kind of saves the cost.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I want it a certain way, it may not be the most efficient and cost-effective way, but you guys kind of like, hey, we can do this to save the cost. You know, we can do this. You can look for different channels or a logistic provider to go with this product line. So yeah,
I think that's a very big point, especially with being proactive about solutions.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, a lot of 3PLs in our industry get stuck and they don't provide solutions, alternatives.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that we're always trying to do.
Yeah.
Let's have an alternative.
Yeah.
What can we do? You know, so we can always find a way. Because I always look at this, you know, logistics as you're not here to be a savior, to save. You cannot, you know, avoid every single problem in the logistics supply chain.
Yeah.
But you can always be proactive.
Yeah.
Find a solution. Yeah. Find an alternative.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's always a better, you know, experience for clients like you and D2C brand owners. The last question I have is, how are you preparing for Q4 of 2021?
So this is our second Q4. I have no clue what I need to do, to be honest. You know, I feel like this is something very new. I don't even know how to forecast properly. You know, I'm just gonna do my best. But the reason why we decided to make a trip to China is to lock in for Q4, to meet our suppliers, to tell them, being honest with them is like, hey, I think it's gonna be messy. You know, we don't know how much we're gonna grow, or are we actually going to meet our projections? But I want to tell them that I'm going to do my best, right? It may not go as well we plan. You know, we might sell more of certain products than others, and we might ask you to rush, but I just want to be honest, and I'll do my best. The goal is not to make the perfect prediction. The goal is to be able to do our best and then beat our projections, or like, it doesn't matter how. And then I just wanted to be able to come and meet in person and say, please take care of us. You know, like this is not just me making a lot of marketing and making a lot of sales. It has to come together. And then also reinforcing that product quality matters. And then the preparation starts now. So how am I preparing for it is we want to make sure that we start now, production wise, sourcing the materials, have everything ready, have a rough estimate how much we need to produce. I know it's not going to be perfect, but communicating that clearly. I don't want to come out, this is going to be the perfect plan. You know, it's not gonna be perfect, but I hope you understand. I'm not asking you to like change things rapidly, but please do this for me. That's the reason why I came here, and then for you guys as well. The reason why I wanted to come by is in very different states, right? Is hey, we're not gonna be perfect. You know, things might be messy. Our products may not arrive on time, but I want you to know that like we will do our best, and I hope you that you can see us as a growing brand, and then trust in us, and then take a risk for us too, and then and during time when we need you, I know that you guys will be there, and then meeting not just you, not just the founder, or not just the CEO of the Be Fulfilled, being able to meet our account manager, being able to meet our after sale person, Sarah, and then giving them our products as a gift, and then it's like letting them know that hey, I am going to do my best for this brand during Q4, no matter how hard it is, no matter how crazy things go. I think that's the best kind of a preparation that I can do.
Exactly. I feel the answer you gave me very grateful. I feel like we had a connection over Zoom calls and communicating, and the team is feeling, I can see today that they're feeling excited. They're feeling satisfied to be able to see that you're giving us good reviews and are comfortable with how we can provide a good service for you. And with this, you mentioned there, just looking at us and saying, even in a subtle way, like, hey guys, this is me. I'm bringing myself here. I'm putting my baby in your hands. And just take care of him or her for a bit. And I can feel that in our interactions today, because you didn't come with a lot of what I would say, because being a 3PL and a service provider, you have obviously good and bad service, good and bad days, and you'll have a lot of demands. Shipping out 10 to 15,000 orders a day is quite stressful. But you didn't come that way. You didn't come with I need this done, I need this done, I need B, C, A, B, C, D done. You just came and you're just like, hey guys, you're happy with the service and just take care of this baby for me, and I can feel that from the trip.
Yeah, because it's my baby, it's not your baby. And then I think being able to come here and then communicating with the team in a way that I want you guys to see it as like, I want to take care of this baby too. Let me do my best. And then I think that matters a lot. And then I hope that even your team will see how much we care about the brand, and then makes them feel proud that to be part of building together. So I think that's very important, and I didn't think it was going to have that big of an impact for me, to be honest. And then whoever is listening, if you have suppliers in China, you should come visit, because it makes me feel like I want to do even better, because if I do better, it will bring more business to you guys. It will provide more jobs for your people and your team, and my suppliers go the same way. And then it gave me kind of responsibilities like that. I'm in a business not for myself, and it has a chain effects in everyone's life, and that I'm gonna do my best. So
we're just it's interesting. It's like it's a whole ecosystem. And with, like you said, you do better, we do better. And when you have those relationships, it's always good to sit down and share moments. And of course, there's Zoom calls, and we had this it's different meeting in person. And I really appreciate you coming down, visiting us, and just having a conversation about taking care of the business at the end of the day. And I think that's key.
And I think another thing I want to mention is that I was able to share you guys about my vision, that how I want to build our brand for the next 3 to 5 years. And then you guys telling me what your plan is for the rest of this year and next year onward. And then that gets me excited. It's like, they're actually thinking ahead and trying to improve, right? You guys are thinking about US warehouse. You guys are thinking about some other services to make the operation better. And so that gives me that confidence that we can scale together.
I see what, at the end of the day, it also, the expectations you have of us are kind of, they may not be extremely, clear, but you have an idea of, okay, and then we also know what your expectations are of us, which is important, which is something that I don't see a lot in e-commerce. I think it's important, like you said, for the viewers. I mean, for us who are in the fulfillment space, always let your supplier know what are your expectations. Let them know what is your roadmap. Where do you expect to see yourself? And that's something that was very clear. And you know what? Not only to me, because it was clear to Angela, it was clear to the rest of the team, because even the way you communicated was very clear. Remember, you made it very simple. You had this slide, and you had everything, very clear for everybody to understand, and that's important. All right. It was a great interview today. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks, James, for your time. Really informative. And until next time, see you guys. Peace.